Hello, everyone. It's your girl, #JLone in the building. Happy Monday. I typically don't like to say that because then when I share a video on a Friday on something I've recorded already, people are like, it's not Monday. But anyways, hope you had a great weekend. Before I leave for today, I wanted to do a video on what things you shouldn't do when you're getting ready to get pre-approved or you've already gotten pre-approved, okay? So this is my list of 12 items. I had to turn around and look. This is my list of 12 items on things that you should not do once you have already started your mortgage process, okay? So for all of you following, hello Dan, hello Julio, hello Karen. So I'm gonna go through them one by one, okay? So number one is do not apply for any new debt, okay? This is big because once you have gotten pre-qualified or hopefully pre-approved, we have already calculated the debts that are on your credit report with what we told you can qualify for. So if you go and incur new debt, you just negated the letter that we provided to you to tell you what you could qualify, because now we have to qualify that new debt in there. And that even includes, let's just say you swapped out a debt. So you had a car and something happened with the car and then you went in. We still want to make sure we have the most updated information. Okay, so don't apply for any new debt, nothing. You got to remember, buying a home is already stressful, and if you incur more debt and you change things for you, it's going to be more stressful for you. Okay, so don't apply for any new debt. Number two is do not charge up any new debt to existing credit. Okay, so just because you have a card that goes up to $10,000, and when we first talked, that debt was at $2,000. Now you say, oh, well, I could use this because they told me not to touch my bank account. You don't want to do that either, because lenders do a soft pull and they monitor your credit throughout your process. So in this soft pull, if we pull it and realize that the balance went from $2,000 to now $8,000, the underwriter could ask us to get a new statement to see what the new actually payment is every month, and that could keep you from qualifying for a home loan. So you don't want to do that either. And then in the mail, or your credit card will call you and say, hey, we've just increased your balance now to $14,000. And you're like, oh my God, this is great. I'm going to use this now. Don't do it. You can take the offer all you want, but don't spend the debt, because we are monitoring you and we will account the new payment against your debt to income. Okay, so don't do that. Number three is do not increase your credit limits on anything. Okay, so you don't want to request credit limit increases, because what happens is they will do a pull on your credit, and any pull on your credit, God forbid we have to pull credit again, if you've agreed to increase your limits on your own doing, not their doing, then what happens is that could make your scores drop. So you don't want to do that either, even though it sounds like a great deal. So don't do that as well, okay? Number four, do not buy a car. I don't know how many times this has happened, and to other loan officers. I've only had it happen to me maybe once or twice, but it was a swap. You don't want to buy the car before you have the house unless you want to live in the car, okay? So once again, if it's a swap out, if your payment is $350 and you got in a car accident and your car's total, then make sure you get a car payment that's $350 or under. Don't change the new payment of this, because if you change the payment, now we have to start our pre-qualification over again. And remember, this could help you not get into a home, and you don't want to do that. So keep the car you have. I'm sure it's great, and if not, I'm positive you can wait 30 to 45 days before you buy a new one, okay? Get the house first, then the car later, because a car depreciates the minute you drive off, and houses appreciate over time. So that's a better asset for you and your family anyway, okay? Number 5, I can't stress this enough. Do not co-sign for anyone. And this is hard because co-signing is emotional, and money makes people angry and they feel like you don't want to help them. But the problem with co-signing for anyone, whether that's whether it's your wife or your husband or your children, is when you co-sign, that debt now becomes your debt. And what that means is if they default, so do you. Okay, you can't say, oh, well, I just co-sign. And although there are times that we can exclude the debt if there have been 12 monthly payments on that debt, and it's an installment debt, sorry about that, and it's an installment debt, maybe we can exclude it, but that doesn't change what effect it has on your actual credit report. I have a guy just pulled today, co-signed for a student loan, and that student loan defaulted. And unfortunately, it goes on him, even though he's a co-signer. So his scores drop, and there's nothing that we can do about that. So as nice as you want to be, I advise you, at least going through your home process, don't co-sign for anyone. And I wouldn't advise you to do it ever. It doesn't matter how much. Be as supportive as you want, but just don't co-sign for anyone, because it really does hurt you in the long run. Not only do we have to include that debt against you most times, if they default, so do you. So don't do that. Number 6, do not quit your job. Yes, people quit their job in the middle of a transaction. It has happened to me before. They're just like, oh, well, I had a better opportunity. Well, that's great, but you have to let your loan officer know. And I always advise you to let your loan officer know before you make the switch. Not because we need to give you permission, but we want to be able to tell you if that switch is going to cause a problem with you getting qualified for your home loan. All switches during the loan process are not good switches, and I want to tell you why. So we're going to go to number 7. Number 7 says, do not change job positions from W-2 to commission. And this is very huge. And the reason why is you can go and be working at a job for 10 years. And all of a sudden they approach you and say, you know what, you've been doing such a great job. We're going to promote you to manager. And instead of you making $50,000 a year, you could make $80,000 a year. But the way you do it is we're going to change your W-2 salaried position at $50,000. Now we're going to change you to W-2 salaried position of $32,000, but the other $50,000 comes in bonuses, commission, overtime. Okay? Well, that sounds great for you, right? You just got a $30,000 increase in pay. But to a lender, we cannot use commission, overtime, bonus unless you have been receiving that for 2 years. So remember, you've been on this job for 10 years, but you've been straight salary. Now they changed you, and although you know and we know you're making potentially more, we don't have record of that until you've been there for 2 years. So you hinder your chances to purchase a home now, because now instead of using your $50,000 base salary, we're going to use your $32,000 base salary, because that's the only thing that we know is consistent and accurate. So don't do that either. Once again, save all these position changes till after your loan process. And of course, I want you to do well. I want you to flourish, and I want you to make more money. But this video isn't about my wants for you. This video is about helping you to purchase the home of your dreams, or your first home, or your second home, or your investment home, and how you do it without impacting your approval or making the process more stressful for you. Okay, so do not change job positions from W-2 to commission, bonus, overtime. The next one is do not become self-employed once the process starts. Once again, this is a little tricky too, because a lot of the times you don't just go self-employed out of the blue. Some people do. But self-employed income is the same thing as commission, bonus, or overtime. Until you file tax returns, we do not know what you truly make. So if you switch to self-employed and then you don't do tax returns, or you haven't even had the opportunity, then your income with us is zero. So don't switch to self-employed. at all. And some guidelines will allow 1 year, but I honestly tell you, you want the 2 years, okay? Number 9, do not keep secrets from your loan officer. You know, I don't know how many of you have seen Toy Story, but it's like, you got a friend in me. Yes, you have a friend in me. So you have to be honest and you have to be open with me and trust me that I'm here to help you. So if you tell me the information, there might be a workaround, or I can be creative on how do we solve this problem. But if you withhold information from me and you don't tell me, I can 100% guarantee you that my underwriter is going to find it. And once she finds it, there's no way to back out of it. Okay? Once she finds it, that's it. We can't back out and retract and you can't do that. You just ruin your chances of purchasing a home. So please be honest with your loan officer. And remember, for me, it's the best relationship that we can have if you tell me everything and I tell you how we work around that. Okay? Number 10, do not argue as to why we need something. I have had so many clients get upset and angry, or I'm not going to give you this. I have no personal gain in your child support letter. I have no personal gain in your bank statements. I can't take them. I can't do anything with them. I don't sleep with them at night. If I ask you for something, it's because the underwriter is going to need this for your file. I take it, I review it, I put it in the file. The underwriter needs it. I had a lady who was doing an asset-based loan. Asset-based loan, she was retired, meaning she's living off of distributions from her assets. And so we're doing this loan. I asked her for paperwork, and she says she doesn't want to give me her assets because she doesn't want me to see what she invests in. I was floored because I don't care what you invest. I'm happy that you're making money, but I don't have any personal gain. I need it to prove income. So don't argue with your loan officer at all. We know what's best for you and we don't want it, okay? Number 11, do not deposit cash into your bank accounts. This is a big no-no. Cash is not good. So all of the stash you keep underneath your bed or in your safes, no. You can't just go deposit that. Now, there's a way that you can go deposit that because lenders collect 2 months of bank statements. If large cash deposits are in those 2 months of bank statements, we must prove and source where that money came from. So unless you are a waitress and this makes sense that over 5 years you've collected all of this money in your house, which most people are not, we cannot use that money from your safe or underneath your bed. And yes, are there ways? There are. But why even go through that? Take your cash, keep it in a bank account, in a separate bank account, and don't touch it. Because if you deposit it in there and your balance shows $12,000, but $8,000 is cash from underneath your bed, and we can't prove the $8,000, then guess what? You can't use the $8,000. So you don't want to do that either, okay? So now you have, our last one is try not to transfer money from account to account. It's great that you have multiple bank accounts. It's great that you have a savings and a checking and a vacation and your Christmas fund. That's great. But once you start transferring money in and out of those accounts and you go to providers with bank statements, depending on the amount of the deposit coming in, we're going to ask you, where did that money come from? So now you've created more work for yourself. You have to go give me all 4 bank accounts for 2 months, and so that we can match all of the money coming in the account. So if you know you're getting ready to buy a home, which you should be, it's a great time to buy a home, but if you know you're getting ready to buy a home, what you need to do is clean up your bank accounts now and just use one. Deem it your home account. This isn't the account you're going to pay bills out of. This isn't the account you're going to draw money from to go buy groceries or clothes or shoes. This is the home account. Clean that account up and just make it where nothing goes in there but pay stubs, something very easy. Or if you have a savings, just keep the savings in there and don't transfer in and out. Therefore, when we ask you for money, you just have to give us 1 bank account for 2 months. It makes life so much easier. So I could go on with tons of lists here of what you need not do, but these are 12 that are really, really good things that I encounter all the time. Okay, so listen to your girl, hashtag JLone. I promise you, I'm out for your best interest. I want the best for you and your family. I want you to purchase a home. And I don't want it to be a stressful process, because buying a home, I say it all the time, is so emotional. And people cry and they get angry, and why add the stress to you? So if you do any one of these 12 items, you have created stress for yourself. So if you're my friend, if you're my family, if you're just watching this and you don't even know me, just click like and share. Someone needs to see this video. Someone wants to buy a house, and someone doesn't know that these things could hurt them. Someone right now could be getting ready to switch positions because they think it's best for them, and they're going to ruin their chances of purchasing a home. So just click like, click share. Sorry, if you have any questions, just inbox me. You guys can always call me, email me. You can find me on Facebook. It's at @VJLone, or if you just type in hashtag JLone, everything will show up. I want to help you. I want to help your families. I want to help your friends. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great day. Let me see who's watching real quick. I see you glowing just because the Saints won. Absolutely. You know how I feel about my Saints. Arlene, hello. Linda, hey, Titi. Hey, Jess. Who else is on here? Pam, how are you? Mommy Arlene, Kyle Johnson, Ladarian, Charles, DeMarcus. Who else is on here? Corey. My sister Raquel. Hey, boo. She doesn't like when I call her boo. Tatiana, Dan the man. I think I said hi to y'all. So if you have any questions, if you're going through a process right now, if you haven't been pre-approved and you're looking to get pre-approved and you want to talk to someone that's just so fluffy and just so happy and wants to help you, holla at your girl, hashtag JLone. I love y'all. Have a great day, okay? Mwah. Bye-bye. I can't stop it. I can't stop it.